Yo guys, today I wanted to touch on my first impressions for Brew in patch 11.1. In the background there'll be footage of me stress testing Brewmaster by soloing the first pull of the new dungeon on a plus 12. I would have loved to start talking about class changes, however Brew, like most other tanks right now, haven't received any spec specific adjustments just yet. It's likely that they are coming soon and I'll make a video on that once those changes are here, but for now the only change we've had thus far has been to paralysis, causing it to break on a damage threshold now instead of just any damage. This change is mostly going to affect raids, as you never particularly worry about this in dungeons, but it's a nice quality of life change that won't really impact much. The next thing to talk about is the new tier set. Luck of the Draw is the name of the game now. Our 2-piece makes it so that each time you take damage you have a chance to activate Luck of the Draw, causing you to cast Fort Brew for 6 seconds and increasing your damage done by 15% for 8 seconds. This is actually proccing off Stagger right now, but I don't think that's intended, so the proc rate is really inflated. This 2-piece definitely aids us more in M+ compared to raids, as cooldown uptime in dungeons is a pain point for Brew. It has the ability to combine with talents such as Iron Shell, Brew and Determination, as well as Mantra of Tenacity from Master of Harmony, giving us Chi Cocoon whenever we get a proc. The overall uptime increase on Fort Brew that this provides, particularly in raids, won't be too significant, but it does help to smooth out certain areas that we would otherwise struggle with. The 4-piece makes it so that when we gain this Luck of the Draw buff, our next 2 blackout kicks deal 150% increased damage and have a reduced cooldown of 2 seconds. I'm not a huge fan of the 4-piece, I'm not gonna lie. It interrupts an already button bloated rotation that never left you without something to press to give you more to press more often. It does play into Tiger Palm more due to the increased amount of blackout combo buffs you'll be getting, which in turn plays into Master of Harmony more because of Overwhelming Force and Way of 1,000 Strikes. The tier set alone makes Master of Harmony more competitive in Season 2, but we're yet to see if it's enough to push it ahead of Shadowpan in a meaningful way. The only thing to really note if you don't play Shadowpan is you lose the 10% damage reduction from predictive training, which is very strong versus magic damage in particular, which Season 2 does have a lot of. There's no real changes to talent builds in the new season as of right now, but that could very well change in the tuning patch that they'll be releasing soon. Moving on to our damage, overall it's about a middle of the pack right now if you're a more advanced Brew player, and can be quite dramatically lower if you're making a lot of rotational errors. Brew survivability in Season 2 is slightly better than Season 1 for reasons mentioned previously, but we'll still need some love from our healer friends to survive even with the tier set patching some moments of weakness. And lastly, the utility Brew has to offer is still as solid as ever in dungeons. The Poison and Disease dispel will be very useful in the upcoming dungeon pool and as well as raid, and Ring of Peace has a variety of uses as well as the Enrage dispel from paralysis. Our raid buff is still sadly the weakest of the bunch, and it being a solely physical buff does make it less appealing in M+. Overall, I'd say Brew is going to be better off in Season 2 than they were in Season 1, but it's unlikely they will be the meta tank in dungeons for reasons that are outside of their control unless something dramatically changes. For raid, there is the added complexity of raid compositions, so it's hard to really say, especially this early on, but they've always been a solid raid tank and that's not changing now. As always, everything is subject to change. Blizzard are likely going to drop a massive tuning patch on us very shortly that will affect all of the tanks, so we'll see. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm live every single day over on my Twitch except Thursdays, so much love friends, and I'll catch you in the next one.